This is Christopher with a short wrap-up episode about this past year's Columbus Moving Picture Show. I was not able to attend the opening day on Thursday, but I drove into Columbus, Ohio early Friday morning in time to catch the introduction by Greta Garbo biographer Scott Ricefield and the showing of the Garbo silent 1927 film Love. This began hours of enjoyment in the screening room. Every film was fun or interesting or powerful, and they're all entertaining. A few other highlights throughout the weekend and films I strongly recommend you check out would be 1930's romantic comedy musical Safety in Numbers, 1932's The Big Broadcast, which was a who's who of popular stars of the time, including Bing Crosby, George Burns, and Gracie Allen, and tons of musical numbers from everyone from the Mills Brothers to Cab Calloway. 1925 silent film Smoldering Fires, starring Pauline Frederick and Laura LaPlante, was amazing, and will be coming to Orphan Entertainment for a full review soon. I have to hear what Lydia thinks about some of the topics and themes in that film. It was early Sunday morning that we got a real treat, a silent film starring Edward Everett Horton and Marion Nixon called Taxi Taxi, that up to only a couple years ago was considered lost until a 16mm print was discovered in someone's collection. We got to see it. A really fun, slapstick-like comedy about an architectural draftsman that becomes smitten with his boss's niece. One misadventure after another leads the man to accidentally acquiring a taxi that was used in a jewelry heist. There is way too much to go into details, but it was a real pleasure to see and legitimately funny. Hopefully this film will eventually be remastered and released on some form of home video so everyone can get a chance to watch it. But until then, if a local festival shows it, I'd strongly recommend you make plans to attend. I did manage to pull myself away from the screening room to check out what else the festival had to offer. There are some great seminars on several of the stars and some of the films led by biographers and researchers, like the aforementioned Reisfeld, as well as one that I missed but really wish I hadn't by Stephen C. Smith about the collaborations between film scorer Bernard Herrmann and director Alfred Hitchcock. Smith has a new book out on the subject, Hitchcock and Herrmann, The Friendship and Film Scores That Changed Cinema, that I'm really looking forward to reading. New York Times bestselling author Scott Eyman was on hand to talk about Joan Crawford, and again his book, Joan Crawford, A Woman's Face, sounds like a must-read. Author Laura Gerald's connected two stars, Laura LaPlante and Marion Nixon, through a director, William Sider. Both women were at different times married to him, and that bit of trivia sent her down more than a few rabbit holes that culminated in the book The Movie Star Wives of William Sider. She also wrote individual books on the two female stars as well, Laura LaPlante, Silent Cinderella, and Marion Nixon, The Nicest Girl in Hollywood. Laura introduced a couple of the films as well as led a seminar on her books, and there is just so much for me to read now. Oh, there was a dealer room too. Everything you could want. Film prints, lobby cards, posters, publicity stills, photos, and even vintage merchandise. There was so much. You could spend the entire weekend rifling through all the posters and photos, but then you'd have to miss all the films. There was that much. If it isn't obvious, I truly enjoyed my time at the Columbus Moving Picture Show. My favorite part was the 10 to 15 minutes in between the films. Almost every time, the lights would come up and a handful of people and I would start talking about the film. It was so nice having these talks with like-minded people that enjoy and appreciate the early 20th century films. I was really happy to meet the host of the Golden Silent Film podcast, Stuart Lee. I began listening to his show about a year ago. He and his podcast are a wealth of information about the silent film era. Should definitely add his show to your list of podcasts. Hopefully there will be some fun collaborations between the Golden Silent Film podcast and Orphan Entertainment in the future. I want to thank Samantha Glasser for her hard work in putting on such a fantastic show. I can't even imagine all the time and effort that goes into organizing a festival like this one, but she did an amazing job. Due to so many reasons, including rising costs and the inability for the venue to accommodate the show, it looks as though this may have been the last Columbus Moving Picture Show. which is a sad state of affairs. But throughout the weekend at the show, and since on social media, there have been rumors that all hope may not be lost. We will keep our fingers crossed and our ear to the rail, and hopefully next Memorial Day, we will once again be able to sit amongst classic film-loving friends and celebrate the movies that have come before. Until that time, Lydia and I will do our small part in keeping these films alive with our monthly reviews and discussions. Go and visit ColumbusMovingPictureShow.com, subscribe to their podcast hosted by Samantha Glasser for any news, and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. I want to thank you for listening to this short recap of the show, and if you attended and happened to pick up one of our postcards, or if you just stumbled onto the podcast, please write us and let us know. Our email is orphanedentertainment@gmail.com, or you can follow the link tree in the show notes to find all our social media accounts. That's it for now. Bye, everybody.